I love money more than anything. Usually, I only ride the bus halfway to save money. I would split a single penny in half if I could. Yet, in everyone's eyes, I am a noble person who despises money. They pity me, feel sorry for me, and even the villains try to humiliate me with money. So in corners where no Oan can see, I am grinning from ear to ear. Please humiliate me a few more times. Thank you. My name is Yi Shuang, the number Oan campus idol of Jinzhou University. Everyone describes me as aloof, pure and refined, without the slightest stench of money on me. Ask if I have absolutely no desire for money, but the truth is the exact opposite. Owen Day, I, who never caused trouble, was inexplicably dragged into a group chat. They were discussing how to humiliate me. I hid my identity. To humiliate someone, you must exploit their weakness. And what does the campus idol hate the most? Money. The supporting guy's eyes lit up. That makes sense.
You deserve a reward.
The next second, he transferred 5,000 yuan. Later that day, while strolling on campus after a meal, a guy wearing a thick gold chain walked up to me. He said, "Yi Shuang, would you do me a small favor?" On the surface, we were total strangers. In reality, I did not know him either, but I knew he was hired by Wang K. They had plotted to humiliate me at noon today. What favor? The gold chain guy took out a thick stack of red cash from his bag, worth about 10,000 yuan. Then he tossed the money right into the air. The red bills fluttered all over, slowly falling to the ground. It instantly caught the attention of countless bystanders, including a girl in the corner and Shiyu. The gold chain guy said, "My 10,000 yuan fell on the ground. If you pick it up for me, the money is yours." Hearing this, the crowd could not help but whisper, "This is taking bullying the campus idol too far. He is such a good person. How could anyone insult him like this?" In the eyes of everyone at Jinzhou University, I am aloof, pure, and refined, without a single trace of the stench of money. As if merely mentioning money in front of me is an insult. So in everyone's eyes, my body swayed slightly. A look of absolute disbelief was written all over my face. In unison, everyone thought, as expected, the campus idol can't take it anymore. Meanwhile, I was thinking, how could such a wonderful thing exist? It took nearly all my strength just to stop my mouth from curving into a huge smile. Taking a deep breath, I was just about to pick it up. Suddenly, a figure flashed before my eyes and rushed right in front of me. He glared fiercely at the gold chain guy and yelled, "How can you go this far?" It was my roommate, Su Ruijie. He always assumed we were close. Even if Yi Shuang is sometimes selfish, cold, and inconsiderate of others, he still should not be humiliated by you like this. I was completely dumbfounded. The gold chain guy smirked coldly. "You are standing up for him," Su Ruijie yelled back. "Yes, if you insist on bullying him, then I will pick it up for him." He put on a dramatic, heroic expression, "And then you keep the money and walk away." "Yes. Is there anything wrong with that? You said it yourself? Keep dreaming." Do you think you are Yi Shuang? Are you worth that much? Even if you licked the cafeteria floor clean today, I would not let you take even $100 from me. Feeling insulted, Su Ruijie clenched his fists. Then he did something absolutely shocking. He used his feet to kick the money into a pile, and with one swift kick, sent it flying into the roaring river nearby.
I will never let you bully Yi Shuang.
It all happened so fast that I did not even have time to react. The flowing water carried away my almost secured 10,000 yuan. The crowd watched as tears slowly welled up in my eyes. The campus idol really could not bear it, right? And Shiyu, watching from the sidelines, was also shocked. Su Ruijie tried to comfort me.
Yi Shuang.
It is okay. It is just 10,000 yuan. I know you definitely would not care about that money anyway. I ignored him, turned around, and walked right away. In everyone's eyes, it looked like I could not bear the sheer humiliation. They could not help but glare furiously at the gold chain guy. How dare you bully the campus idol? But I did not go anywhere else. I jogged all the way down to the lower reaches of the river. The terrain downstream was flat, barring any accidents. The money should have washed up right there. It still belonged to me. But of course, an accident happened anyway, due to the river's current. The red bills had clumped together into bright red balls, looking incredibly tempting by the time I rushed over. They had been mostly devoured by a big fat carp. I could literally watch with my own eyes how it opened its huge mouth and swallowed my cash whole. I let out a wail, my foot slipped, and I fell to the ground, covering my face. When Shiyu came chasing after me, she happened to witness this exact scene. She was once again mesmerized by this man because he was so humiliated. He hid in a deserted place, painfully covering his face, full of grievances yet with no one to confide in. Although he looks frail, his soul is incredibly resilient. She could not help but walk up to me. "Can you get up?" I looked up. and saw a girl I did not know asking me this. Extending her hand to me, I stood right up on my own. I'm fine. That damned big carp, if it had not already swam away, I definitely would have caught it, sliced it open and stewed it. My name is Shiyu. I feel like you're a really kind guy. Can we get to know each other? As the campus idol, I get hit on way too often. I gave a confident smile.
Yai Shuang.
Your clothes are dirty. If you do not mind, let me take you to get a new outfit. She said change, but to my surprise, she took me straight to a dyer counter in the mall. She picked out a similar white shirt for me. After I put it on, a fleeting look of sheer amazement crossed her eyes. This shirt really suits you. While paying as if afraid I might reject her, she quickly said, this is a little greeting gift from me. Please do not refuse it. In my eyes, no matter how nice this shirt is, it still pales in comparison to your worth. Hey, kid, you sure have a sweet way with words. I smiled and simply said thank you. However, clothes and accessories are just depreciating assets. No matter how expensive they are, their value gets slashed the second they hit the resale market. I'm a pretty basic guy, so giving me a huge lump sum of cold hard cash would be much more practical. So I remained somewhat indifferent. Seeing my reaction, and Shiyu became even more certain of her assumptions. Coming from a wealthy background, the only thing she hated most in life was a gold digger. And this guy was entirely different from the rest. He truly was one of a kind. When I got home, I opened my phone and saw the group chat howling in uproar. Did you guys see the campus idol today? He looked so wronged and miserable. The young master definitely vented his anger today. Humiliation successful. The group owner, Wang K. Honestly, I had no idea how I had offended this mink coat wearing rich kid. Everyone knows I'm the campus idol, but behind the scenes, I scrape by in the shadows. I disguise my identity in various part-time job groups to find work and make money. Probably because of that, he accidentally dragged my alt account into this group where they were conspiring on how to humiliate me. Who knew Wang K was actually furious? Because of this stunt today, my sister actually took a liking to him. During dinner, she kept talking about how non-materialistic he is and how special he is. She even said she is going to pursue him. I am so pissed off. The NPCs in the group all chimed in at once to comfort him. In a fit of rage, young Master Wang started raining red envelopes into the chat. This group will not disband. Keep thinking of ways to humiliate Yi Shuang. If anyone has a good idea, DM me. If I use your idea, the reward is 5,000 yuan. Busy snatching up red envelopes, I was leaping around like a badger in a melon patch. The young master had dropped 20,000 yuan in red envelopes, yet I somehow only managed to grab 2,000. I watched helplessly as all that money was snatched up by others. My heart bled. The next day in the library, I was racking my brain trying to figure out how to humiliate myself. Yesterday, I had pitched a few ideas to Wang K, but he rejected them all for being too cliché or tacky. Shortly after, he messaged me saying he had found the perfect plan and that the actors were already hired. I was so offended. When it comes to humiliating me, should not I be the leading expert? Just then, someone walked into the library. It was a sneaky-looking guy with a buzz cut. He glanced at me a few times and stealthily crept toward me. The whole ordeal gave off incredibly sketchy vibes. Most importantly, the thick brick-like stack of red bills bulging in his pocket made it impossible for me to ignore. Oh no, looks like they are about to make their move. How are they planning to humiliate me this time? The only method I was willing to accept was for him to walk right up to me and violently smash that 20,000 yuan right into my face. But surprisingly, the guy slowly approached me, secretly stuffed the 20,000 yuan straight into my bag, and sprinted away like a thief in the night. Once again, I was utterly shocked. How is this any different from finding free cash on the street? Snapping back to reality, I immediately pulled the money out and shouted at the fleeing man, "Hey, your 20,000 yuan. He yelled back, "No, it is your 20,000 yuan. No, it is your 20,000 yuan. It is clearly your 20,000 yuan." If I was not so painfully aware of my own bank balance, I genuinely would have believed it was mine. Every time I check my account, I want to hang myself. Clutching these two thick stacks of cash, I actually felt a pang of guilt, so I pulled out 1,000 yuan and handed it to him. I feel kinda bad. So you just take this. Mirror actor certainly did not expect that such an easy gig would also come with an extra performance bonus. He was deeply moved. Thank you. The crowd in the library instantly began to gossip. Did you hear? After the campus idol lost 20,000 yuan, someone returned it and he gave them a generous 1,000 yuan reward. The campus idol is so handsome, kind, and rich.
Damn it.
Why was not I the one who found that 20,000 yuan? I want the campus idol to talk to me too. Is it too late for me to sneak 20,000 yuan into his bag right now? What are you dreaming about? A guy like the campus idol, who is so completely above materialism, how could he ever take someone else's money for no reason? Meanwhile, The group chat was celebrating like it was the new year. Jinzhou University's #1 campus idol has finally been corrupted by money. Seeing him so desperate to return the money to the actor, yet being forced to accept it anyway, it was immensely satisfying. I'm not the only ON who thinks so, right? Exactly. He must deeply despise himself right now, but he took the money, and that is an undeniable fact. He is no longer pure. A dedicated photographer had even snapped photos of me tightly clutching the 20,000 yuan, with furrowed brows and an indignant expression. They also captured the unwavering persistence in my eyes when I forced the money onto the actor. To them, this was ironclad proof that I had bowed my head to money. I thought you were so noble. I thought you were above material desires. Someone stuffed money on you, and you still did not reject it in the end, did you? Wang Kei was exceptionally satisfied with this outcome. Nicely done. Just 3 simple words. Accompanied by yet another massive rain of red envelopes, I managed to grab more this time around. 3,666 yuan. Staring at the screen, I pressed my palms together and prayed devoutly to the heavens. Please, I beg you, never, ever let this group chat disband. Can you promise me that? The heavens remained silent, but unexpectedly those photos from the library were leaked online and went completely viral. Within a few days, I gained 100,000 followers on social media. The reason was simple. My fans thought that my slightly furrowed brows looked so devastatingly heartbroken that it shattered their souls. When I insisted on giving money to the actor, I supposedly looked like a benevolent immortal descending to bless humanity. Some even voiced their righteous indignation.
God damn it.
Mentioning money in front of a face like this is an absolute insult to his ethereal aura. Can someone please Photoshop those filthy red bills out of the picture? Meanwhile, back in the group chat, it was all cheers and laughter. This is exactly the effect we wanted. And in Shiyu, who had just finished a meeting, opened her social media app. She casually scrolled past this exact post. She immediately sat up straight, having not seen him for a few days. The guy in the photo looked even more pure and unblemished. Somehow, a large sum of money had been forced into his hands, and he looked so incredibly anxious, desperately trying to return the money to that person. The photo perfectly captured his distress and helplessness. Her heart pounded loudly in her chest as she stared at it. After admiring it for a while, she decisively set the photo as her phone's lock screen. She thought to herself, I really judged him, right? He is so handsome and unbelievably kind, and utterly uncorrupted by materialism. I was completely oblivious to all of this. In a fantastic mood, I leisurely strolled back to my dorm, but Suruje immediately aggressively rushed up to me.
Yai Shuang.
I heard you pocketed 20,000 yuan today. Word sure travels fast. Before I could even respond, he continued.
Yai Shuang.
How can a guy like you possibly handle such a massive sudden windfall? Look at all the suffering people out there in the world. Why do not you just donate it all? I froze. Donate it to who? To me, ignoring my utterly baffled reaction. He shamelessly rambled on. The national scholarship this semester was originally supposed to be mine, but you stole it away from me, considering we are supposedly good brothers. I did not make a big deal out of it back then, but now that you are rich, it is time you paid me back what you owe me. I was genuinely so utterly speechless that I did not even know where to begin roasting him. There was simply too much to unpack. Suruji was not exactly popular in our dorm anyway, so one of my other roommates dramatically gasped, Surueje, you dropped something on the floor. He blinked in confusion. What did I drop? Your sheer audacity. Suruije's face instantly twisted in embarrassment. He clenched his fists tightly. The roommate continued, Am I wrong? How else could you possibly have the nerve to claim that Yi Shuang stole your scholarship? It is strictly based on academic performance. He studied straight into the night during finals week, just to rank first in our class. You, on the other hand, got caught cheating and scored a fat 0. You single-handedly dragged down our class's entire average. You should be thankful we are not demanding compensation from you. Nobody owes you anything. I mentally gave my roommate a standing ovation, but on the surface, I remained calm. If you have any complaints about the scholarship, take it up with our academic advisor. After being thoroughly roasted by the two of us, Suruji's face shifted between green and bright red. He indignantly stomped his foot, turned around, and stormed out. As they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So he tracked down Wang Kei. You are Wang Kei, right? I heard you want to humiliate Yi Shuang. Yeah, I have a few solid ideas for you. Perfect. Let us hear them. He immediately leaned in and whispered a few sentences into Wang Kei's ear. It was a perfectly clear and sunny day. My mood was absolutely spectacular. The reason was simple. Because at some point later today, that group was plotting to humiliate me yet again. I could not wait. Soon enough, an announcement echoed across the campus, ordering all students to immediately assemble on the sports field for an emergency assembly. I lazily stretched my back and slowly strolled over to the field. Little did I know, Suruji was glaring daggers at my back. A highly toxic gleam flashed in his eyes.
Yai Shuang.
This is what you get for refusing to share your money with me. And to think, I actually treated you like a brother? You do not deserve it. Go ahead and gloat. Be happy while you still can. Because after today, your entire life will be completely ruined. I will have you crying for your parents, filled with absolute, unending regret. Halfway through the assembly, a colossal shadow slowly descended from the sky, accompanied by the deafening roar of spinning propellers. It was a private helicopter. If someone had stabbed Tsurugi in the left side of his chest right then, and then followed it up with a stab to the right, he probably would not have even felt it, because his heart had already entirely leaped into his throat with anticipation. It is finally happening. Yae Shuang is about to lose all of his reputation. Someone leaned halfway out of the helicopter, whipped out a massive megaphone, and shouted down at the densely packed crowd below. Where is Yi Shuang? Instantly, the crowd erupted into a restless swarm of ants. Is not that our campus idol's name? What is going on with the campus idol? Could it be a domineering female CEO flying in to propose to Yi Shuang? That is exactly how it always happens in the novels. Many classmates who recognized me immediately cast their gazes in my direction. No matter how you look at it, I was only a mildly famous campus idol. My head-turning rate on the streets was at best a solid 80%. But a scene like this with literally everyone staring dead at me, my poor little heart was pounding wildly. I honestly could not handle the pressure. The helicopter failed to pinpoint my exact location, but according to their intel, I was definitely somewhere on the sports field. Since that was the case, they decided to just wing it. The person pulled out a paper crammed with text and dramatically began reading into the megaphone. Attention all students of Jinzhou University. I am here to expose your beloved campus idol, Yi Shuang. Although he is exceptionally handsome, has a gentle, upright, and compassionate personality, possesses an elegant demeanor with striking starry eyes, carries himself with a stately and refined grace, is highly responsible, deeply honest, completely trustworthy, brimming with talent, vastly knowledgeable, shrewd, incredibly capable, and thoroughly outstanding in every way. The speaker took a massive heavy gulp of air, almost passing out from reading that massive string of compliments. When you live in this world, there are inevitably times when you offend the wrong people. According to the script's directions, the speaker paused for 3 seconds and let out 2 sinister laughs. She followed the stage directions to the letter. Heh. Heh. Yi Shuang, your karma has finally arrived. And with that, she aggressively slammed a button. The very next moment, a massive storm of cash rained down from the sky, myself included. Every single person was absolutely stunned. How? Just how much money is this? The cash was pouring down like a torrential downpour, clump after clump, stack after stack. Some fast-handed students managed to snatch up a few bills. Filled with sudden suspicion, they examined the cash closely. They were completely shocked. Oh my god, it is actually real. My mom works at a money printing plant. I would know. Her voice was instantly drowned out by the completely frenzied crowd. At that moment, almost everyone lost their minds. They all dived headfirst into the chaotic war for the free cash. The school administrators on the stage barely managed to maintain their sanity. This is utterly absurd. Who on earth is doing this? Who is disrupting our school assembly? The vice principal next to him quickly replied, Principal, we can hold a school assembly any time, but free money is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Then the vice principal rushed in. The school officials were furious. I spent half a month planning this assembly. The vice principal yelled, Oh my god, there is even more coming down. The principal could not sit still anymore. Move aside. I am the principal. I get to grab first on the massive sports field. Everyone had gone completely mad. They fought ruthlessly for the cash. Hundreds of students with backpacks slung over their shoulders looked like hundreds of rocks constantly being bounced around by a massive earthquake, dancing wildly before your eyes. What a magnificent, uninhibited, and fiery scramble erupted on the field. And I was right there mingling in the crowd, grinning so hard my mouth looked like a Nike logo. Meanwhile, and Shiyu patrolled the crowd, her heart filled with anxiety and fear. She simply could not imagine just how terrified and despairing Yi Shuang must be right now. A boy who had always despised money the most, being repeatedly humiliated like this. Finally, she found Yi Shuang, perhaps because he was so terrified. His mouth was twitching all the way up to his temples, but this did not affect his handsomeness in the slightest. The next moment, she stepped forward and grabbed him. Come with me. She needed to get him out of this place immediately, still having only grabbed a few $100. And she still felt a sense of relief, like she had survived a disaster. She had successfully pulled such an innocent boy like Yi Shuang out of hell. Looking at his face, she suddenly pulled him into her arms. I'm sorry. I came too late. From now on, I will protect you. I promise. I was completely dumbfounded. Who is this again? After calming down, she flew into a rage. Who exactly is so vicious as to bully such a simple, non-materialistic boy like Yi Shuang? With a single command from CEO N, her people went everywhere to investigate. The results came back very quickly. In less than an hour, Wang Ke was brought before her. He saw his sister standing next to me, sis, and Shiyu was furious. Do not call me sis. I am not your sister, sis. Do not call me sis, sis. Do you not understand human language? I forbid you from calling me sis, sister. I tried my hardest to hold down the corners of my mouth. I had to admit, his voice sounded a lot like a crowing rooster. Who knew that Wang Ke would seem to catch on to my schadenfreude? He angrily yelled, "What are you snickering at? Believe it or not, I will keep smashing you with money." I was pleasantly surprised. Really? That would be wonderful. And Shiyu interrupted. Enough. Have not you embarrassed yourself enough? She was clearly exasperated with her younger brother. Massaging her temples, she asked, how exactly did Yi Shuang offend you to make you frame him with such vicious methods? You do not want to know. Tell me. You really do not want to know. Tell me right now, sis. You can't know. Speak. Fine, I will say it. Honestly, standing off to the side, I was also very curious. As Wang Ke was a famous rich young master in the college, and I lived a secluded life. How could I have possibly offended him? The following is Wang Ke's account. 3 months ago, my mom brought me back a top-quality mink coat. It was extremely expensive. When I wore it, everyone cast deeply envious glances at me. I felt so incredibly happy. I could not bear to take it off all day. Then I wore that mink coat walking through the cafeteria. Yi Shuang, who was getting food, just glanced at me, and Shiyu was puzzled. That is it. Wang Ke replied, that is it. I fell silent, and Shiyu clarified, so just because of that Oan glance. Wang Ke nodded. Yes, both his sister and I were completely silent. Wang Ke continued, filled with righteous indignation. It was that very glance that I could not forget for a long time, from childhood until now. Everyone has looked at me with envy, admiration, and awe, but you, Ye Shuang, when you looked at me, it was like looking at a lifeless, dead object. In your eyes, I felt like I was not even worthy of being called human. I weakly raised my hand. Maybe it is because I'm nearsighted. How is that possible? Your big, dark eyes are always sparkling so brightly. I reached up and took off my contact lenses. 2 thin lenses stuck to my fingers. I suddenly remembered that I had lost my contacts that day. While getting food, I had to squint just to see people. Suddenly, there had been a commotion at the door. Everyone turned their heads in the same direction. Through my blurred vision, I saw a large black bear-like shape barge into the crowded cafeteria. And then I just lowered my head and continued getting my food. Wang Ke fell silent. Even if it was a bear barging into the cafeteria, how could you not be envious? Admiring, and in awe, because my family runs a zoo. After everything was brought to light, Wang Ke and I looked at each other in dismay. So it turned out that all of this was just a huge misunderstanding. And Shiyu was utterly speechless at her brother. Enough. Look at the ridiculous things you have been doing lately. It is a good thing Yi Shuang is strong. Otherwise, he would have completely shut down by now. Apologize to him right now, and never do this again. Having been thoroughly scolded by his sister Wang Ke, seemed to finally realize his mistake. He said to me, I'm sorry. Please do not blame me. I won't do it again. I grasped his hand. No, I do not blame you at all, Mr. Wang. In fact, I highly welcome it. I even wanted to tell him, keep going. Do not stop. Having his hand held, Wang Ke was actually somewhat flattered for a moment. Everyone says the campus idol is unworldly and arrogant, but he is actually this friendly. For some reason, his heart started pounding. After Yi Shuang let go, he even felt a bit of a loss. When he looked up again, he blanked out, because his sister and Ye Shuang had already disappeared. And Shiyu said she wanted to treat me to a meal, to personally apologize on her brother's behalf, who knew she would take me to a rundown Malatang spot in some obscure corner. The storefront was tiny and dilapidated. Walking inside, the air was stale, and even the tables were covered in a film of grease. The kitchen was only separated by a piece of cloth. The cloth was half lifted, and you could see the chef picking his nose. And Shiyu said affectionately, we are eating a bit simply. You do not mind, do you? I barely managed to keep my expression from cracking.
Of course not.
After randomly picking a few ingredients, I asked Shiyu why she had come here. Is it because you used to eat here often when you were in school, so you feel a bit nostalgic? Or was it that you were once down and out, and the boss here gave you a hot bowl of Malatang that rekindled your hope? That is how all the novels write it. And Shiyu gave me a weird look. No, it is just cheap here. I had nothing left to say. You see, and Shiyu understood Yi Shuang and knew that he detested money above all else. Now that she had finally found this opportunity, she had to flawlessly demonstrate her frugality from all angles. Then, she casually glanced at the bill and cried out in shock. What the heck? You're charging me $5 for a single slice of meat and $3.50 for tissues. The total for 2 people is actually 87.6 yuan. What a scam. This outburst was so loud that it drew the attention of people outside. Why not the people inside? Because besides us, no one else was eating in this restaurant. I covered my face in slight embarrassment. Maybe it is run by an old couple. It is not easy running a small business. A shadow fell over us. A burly man walked over. These prices are clearly marked. Do you have a problem with it? And Shiyu angrily snapped her chopsticks apart. No.
I'm ready.
When will the food be served? When the food was served, I distinctly saw the chef's nose-picking finger brush against the inside of my bowl. I took the cheap tissue from the side and wiped the bowl's rim thoroughly, only to despairingly discover that the bowl had not been washed properly in a long time. It had developed a permanent layer of grime. I ate that meal in an absolute daze, like I was completely disconnected from reality after eating, and as Shiyu sneakily glanced toward the kitchen. What is wrong? She whispered. This place even charges $3.50 for tissues. Is not that a total ripoff? I nodded. Yeah, I and Shiyu navigate this world and never let anyone take advantage of me. Then she grabbed the half-used pack of tissues and stuffed it into her pocket. Hiding it securely, she shouted loudly, "Run!" The sound pierced the ears and echoed for days, lingering on and on. Her white dress practically sparkled in the sunlight. Her shout alarmed the burly boss. He came out, and without even knowing what she had stolen, immediately gave chase, leaving me sitting awkwardly alone on the stool. Later, across the street, the boss caught Shiyu. He would not believe it even if you beat him to death that Shiyu ran so fast, just because she took a used pack of tissues. And Shiyu had even paid for them. When did you pay? At the very beginning when you gave me the bill, the burly boss sneered. Sorry, our place gives the bill first, and you pay after eating. Hearing this, and Shiyu looked utterly incredulous after settling the bill and walking out. I saw the burly boss across the street still warning her, I will let it slide this time. Next time, do not take our tissues. I am never coming to your store again. I have permanently blacklisted you. What did you say? The burly boss flared up. I was just joking.
Pretty funny, right?
She laughed awkwardly a few times. The burly boss glared at her fiercely, then turned around and left. And Shiyu turned her head, met my gaze, and felt a rare moment of embarrassment.
Are you all right?
No, I mean, are you doing okay? I nodded. I'm fine, still breathing. She looked a little awkward and pointed at a supermarket nearby, saying, let us go take a look inside. My treat, however, I did not have much to buy, so I just bought a pack of stride gum. Yes, just a pack of stride gum. When she was paying, the cashier kindly informed us, there is some bottled water next to the shelves. Even though it is near expiration, it is completely free. This is a measure our boss came up with to prevent wasting resources. Customers just need to carry it home themselves. But he certainly did not think that this pair of seemingly extraordinary-looking young people would take even a single bottle. Who knew that Shiyu would wave her hand grandly. Where are the bags? Pack them all up for me. Not a single bottle should be wasted. One bag could hold 5 bottles of water, extremely heavy. By the end, we had filled 8 whole bags. I hesitated. So much. How are we going to carry this? Where are we taking it? She said. My house is just nearby. It is only a half-hour walk to my villa there. Then, let us call a car.
Save your money.
Let us not call ON. And Shiyu was extremely smug in her heart, believing that I would surely be completely captivated by her words. Meanwhile, I was thinking to myself, Mother of God, she bought me a 10 yuan pack of gum and actually expects me to be her porter for half an hour. Absolutely no way. Give me back the domineering CEO who gifted me a dire suit. On our first meeting, I smiled, pulled out my phone, and made a call. A few minutes later, a Maybach stopped right in front of me. The car window slowly rolled down, revealing a slightly mature, yet still incredibly charming face. Mr. Yi, you're contacting me today? Makes me very happy, I said politely. Aunt Lu, thank you for coming to pick me up. Then I turned to Shiyu and said, sorry, I must take my leave. As for carrying the water, you can find a freight service yourself. And Shiyu was in utter disbelief.
Yai Shuang.
What is your relationship with this woman? As far as she knew, this wealthy merchant surnamed Lu already had a family, and even a 5-year-old child. How could she appear to have such a close relationship with Yi Shuang? Aunt Lu said, Ye Shuang is my long-term business partner. I have never met such a smart and capable boy. However, to Shiyu's ears, these words had already been twisted completely out of proportion.
Yai Shuang.
You're definitely not the kind of boy I think you are, right? Then you might be disappointed.
I exactly am.
Then I leisurely rolled up the window, and Aunt Lu's Maybach sped away. Good men get a good reputation, but bad men get everything. Meanwhile, Shiyu directly flagged down a taxi. She got in, pulled cash from her bag, and smacked it against the driver's head. Did you see that, Maybach? Did you see it? The driver, his eyes blinded by cash, replied, say no more. Follow that car. If the two of them really went to a hotel or a private villa, then her heart would truly be broken. From then on, she would never believe the lies of men ever again. The Maybach drove me all the way to a warehouse in the suburbs. Aunt Lu told me, "They are all doing very well lately because they have not seen you. They have been howling constantly. They miss you terribly." Hearing this, I was genuinely overjoyed. I pulled back the curtain, revealing a group of puppies napping inside. The midsummer heat was sweltering, but the cool breeze from the air conditioner allowed them to sleep carefree on the floor. I held my breath, almost afraid to make a sound, but owner two had not fallen asleep. Seeing me, they perked their ears up in disbelief and sat up straight. Once they confirmed it was me, they could not hold back at all. They instantly sprinted over and threw themselves into my arms, letting out excited barks that instantly woke up the rest of the puppies. Every single dog knew me, and every single dog missed me. They all swarmed towards me, jumping all over me. Some who could not squeeze in stood up on their hind legs on the sidelines, bouncing and jumping excitedly. In a flash, the entire dog shelter was enveloped in a joyous atmosphere. This is the affection of animals, straightforward and passionate. And Shiyu, who had followed closely behind, was completely stunned. The boy, surrounded by a pack of dogs, was beaming with joy. Bathed in the sunlight, Miss Lu said, 3 years ago, Ye Shuang first heard dogs barking from a truck. Feeling something was wrong, he risked himself to stall the driver, buying precious time for the police to arrest the entire gang of dog traffickers. He was only a freshman at the time. The dogs on the truck were saved, but their destination became a problem. Yai Shuang tried his absolute best to find adopters for these puppies. That is what caught my attention. I funded the construction of this place to shelter them, and Yi Shuang to cover their food expenses. Took on various part-time jobs everywhere. That is how this place has stayed afloat, and that is why he has earned the love of so many dogs. And Shiyu was shocked yet again. So the money Wang Kei gave him, he had not squandered it at all. It turned out he used it all on this place. She felt deeply ashamed of her previous suspicions, so with a grand wave of her hand, she donated 5 million yuan. Later, when Wang Kei heard about this, he also donated 3 million. From then on, the dogs in this place lived together happily and completely carefree. As the environment improved, more and more small animals were taken in. This place eventually grew into a full zoo, and Yi Shuang became the director of this zoo. Someone once asked curiously, for such a massive zoo, if the Jinzhou government did not fund it, where did the startup capital come from? Yi Shuang replied, "That is a story from a long time ago. During my junior year, someone could not stand the sight of me, so they tried to humiliate me with money." Asked for his roommate Suruji. Of course, he was unwilling to bow out quietly. He angrily confronted Wang Kei, asking, "Why did not you do as I suggested? If you had, it would have completely ruined him." Wang Kei retorted, "Why would I want to ruin him? It is not easy for Yi Shuang to raise so many dogs. What is wrong with giving him some money? My dog Tuan, who was missing for 3 years, was found in that very place. When I found him, Tuan was already very, very old. Many of his organs were failing, and he could not even open his eyes. But he still seemed to recognize me. He barked twice, as if calling out to his owner. I do not know if Tuan blamed me for finding him so late, but in his final days, it was Yi Shuang who constantly took care of him. I only got to see Tuan own last time, so I felt jealous, but also deeply, helplessly grateful. Also, those ideas you came up with were pretty despicable. Even though you did not succeed, you still have to pay the price." Wang Kei tapped a recording on his phone. It was the audio of Suruji instigating him to broadcast 8 deepfake photos of Ye Shuang across the sports field. The piercing sound of sirens echoed outside the window. Suruji was taken away by the police. The end.